brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shabaka going crazy. People going crazy in this motherfucker. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7-no-meter. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. Man make them happy because man make them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. Basi yeki kwa mazoba
Okay, greetings from Sin City, man.
Hey,
just had to get my
how
coffee.
You doing?
Hey, Mr. Anderson. Okay,
hello,
and also too, ladies
hello,
and gentlemen,
everybody.
We're staying on top of the story right here is because, you know, this one here is of grave public interest, particularly within the Black community. Okay, is
hello,
because,
everybody.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, how you doing, sir?
I was trying to speak to the DJ guy.
Okay, that's.
Oh, hey. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you an update. I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to interrupt that brother, but the brother. But yeah, the update is that it's just go from bad to worse, worse to worse. Now we have what I've learned yesterday. There's still people in the Jolie apartments with no water, no electricity, or any of that currently right now. So, you know, there's nothing. These people are still stuck in these apartments without no water, electricity. The city turned it off their utilities. So yeah, so that's even worse than what it was. Right. Right. They have the list. That's another thing that's really aggravating the fuck. They're aggravating the fuck out of me is that they have the list of the people. They haven't made it public, which I think is another travesty, which is fucking screwed. But there got to be a number of people. I know there's at least about for what for what I've been hearing through the grapevine. I say less than 15, about 20 people already. About 20 people.
Okay, and then what it is that this is illegal as hell, number one, and then on top of it is looking at the risk of the youth, the elderly right there, the babies right there, and then also too we've had previous callers on Wednesday who are saying be sure that the people in the housing unit, you know, record and log down all the medical examinations and see if they can get medical examinations is because of this mold situation that's going on. And then of course too is that you got squatters going in there as well too. So that's a safety risk, you know, to the individuals there in the apartments, particularly the elderly and the young. As you know, in the animal kingdom, the most vulnerable is the elderly and the young. And this is some predatory shit, number one. And then also, too, we're going to perhaps, Brother Che, when we do StreamYard, we're definitely going to stay up on top of this story right here, is because, there's kind of like they got a news blackout on it. And then with them having a news blackout on it as well, too, on mainstream media, it goes to show that there's definitely some special interests that are involved in it. And then, too, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, of course, I'm quite sure that those in city government, got their hands in it as well, too. So you definitely. Mm-hmm. Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, these are
Yes,
serious. These are serious crimes, by the way. These are serious crimes, and it's like you said, it's illegal as hell. And like you said, this is what's it called? Violations of human rights and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yeah, without a doubt.
And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Exactly. You see, and then on top of it, with this here being an election year, you would figure that these guys would put it in. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm sure Oh, absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then on top of it as well too is that they're thinking, that nobody's going to matter because they don't have nothing to deal with them. But you could best believe if some of these damn migrants with that bullshit that they're pulling on, they'd be on top of it. You see, so it's pretty much, that mainstream media. Yes, sir. Yes, so it appears that mainstream media, man, is more concerned about making profits as opposed to informing the public of these tragedies. You see what I'm saying? And yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. And then all
they care about is I'm sorry. All they care about is a story. That's all they care about.
Exactly.
So,
you see what I'm saying?
I mean,
as opposed to a human rights violation.
Mm-hmm. They still haven't even aired my story. We need to put that out there. It's been almost a year, and these people still haven't allowed me to air my story or share my story about what happened at those apartments we were at. So they're suppressing people's stories, and not only that, that also makes me think there's some. Yeah, I've been waiting months to share my story, but see, like you said, it was people locally that was involved in those crimes. If you ask me, because why would a person? I've never known of a person waiting months upon months to get a story for the news, to get them a story, and like I said, about them apartments. So it was more corruption than what people think it is.
Oh yes, sir, without a doubt.
They haven't even aired my story.
Wow. And of course, that there just goes to prove that they're trying to suppress it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what article is that? Oh. What was it? Okay, it was a newspaper article. That might have been one of the recent. That might have been one of these recent apartments. Or probably my situation that happened a year or so ago. Probably one of those. You know. So. Yeah, that was what. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's. Yeah, that was when it was going on now.
This is insane. You know what I'm saying? This really is. This is downright insane. You know what I'm saying?
Inhumane violation of the people's rights, color of law. Mm.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I pulled up the Shreveport Times right here, and I'm looking at a story that was published at 9:43 a.m., June the 6th, 2024, which was yesterday. And it states here, Shreveport mayor issues emergency declaration around problem apartment complexes, okay? The mayor of Shreveport, Louisiana has declared a state of emergency following the recent property conditions at three problem apartment complex. On June 5th, Mayor Tom Arsenault held a press conference where he said, I have signed a declaration of emergency to declare that respect to the Jolie, Villa Norta, and the Pines, that there is a public hell yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
They're just trying to cover up their tracks. This shit ain't gonna work.
No, hell no, it's not. Yeah, and hell no, it's not gonna work, man. And you see, so this here proves, man, is that they starting to feel a little bit of heat, is because it says Arsenault, the mayor, held a press conference where he says, I have signed a declaration of emergency to declare that respect to the Jolie, Villa Norte, and the Pines, that there's a public health and safety emergency that exists that requires some additional things to be done. These three apartments have been at the center of attention when their power and water was shut off due to absent landlords. Arsenault said the water and electricity has been cut off to all of these units, which means that they are no longer healthy or sanitary for human occupancy. Hell, we know that. This is why we picked it up. You see what I'm saying? The emergency declaration is a way in which police can remove unlawful occupants from the premise and help cut down on crime and unsanitary living conditions. Okay.
They're not supposed to do that.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
They can't go in apartments and evict anyone. I gotta be through the courts.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then when what it is that what they're trying to do, this is definitely a cover-up, is because they're talking about crime and unsanitary living conditions as opposed to swearing out warrants for the owners of these properties to have them brought up to code. And when I mean brought up to code, man, I'm talking about, living in habitable conditions, okay? And according to the mayor, there'll be no extra law enforcement officers placed at these locations. Officers will take action if illegal activity is seen on these properties. Well, damn it, you already got illegal activity because of the owners are allowing these apartment units to deteriorate. And he says here, we have the right to arrest people for trespassing. We have the right to arrest people for drug activity. We have the right to arrest people for prostitution. We have the right to arrest people for other kinds of illegal activity. We do not have the right to evict people who are tenants. And man, and looking at this photograph right here, overgrown grass right here, refuse and trash piled up, you know what I'm saying, describing this photograph. And on the outside, the design of the apartments, look fairly well, but it's the trash and unsanitary conditions.
No, you're not seeing it. It's more to it than just that, because they're not showing the inside of the damn apartments.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can send you some. Hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Yes, sir. Okay, and then I'm going to continue reading this article here in the meantime. And this is out of the, yeah. Yes, sir. The declaration of emergency will be in effect until July 3rd unless these buildings have been totally demolished. At this time, Villa Norte is the only apartment complex the mayor has signed a partial demolition order on. Okay. So what they're doing is that they want to demolish these apartments is because what it is cover up, in my opinion, of the uninhabitable conditions, okay, that they're trying to cover up, and for as long as it's been like this. So what this isn't the mayor doing nothing. This is nothing more than damage control. You see what I mean? Okay, and then. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Well, according to this, okay, Mr. Anderson. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to continue reading the story until Mr. Anderson gets back with us. The city of Shreveport have made efforts to find homes for tenants who have been misplaced. He continued by saying, this is a very drastic action, calls for drastic circumstances, and we hope that this sends a message to landlords elsewhere that they need to pay attention to their business. Okay, now, my question is on that. If you want to send a drastic fucking message to these bastards, then go issue out a warrant for their arrest, okay? We are always where we are, in my opinion, because landlords have failed to take care of their own business. Take a look at the full declaration. Okay. Mayor declaration of state of public health conditions of safety due to property conditions. Okay. Whereas Louisiana RS 29 semicolon 737 empowers the chief executive officer of a municipality to undertake immediate emergency response measures within the municipality wherever situation developed within or outside of the municipality, and the chief executive officer, yes, sir, of the municipality determines immediate action is required to preserve the public peace, property, health, and safety within the municipality. And whereas of June 5th, 2024, which is 2 days ago, the Shreveport mayor has determined that certain apartment complexes in the city of Shreveport no longer lawfully house residents. The owners and managers of these complexes, having ceased active management, and water and power service having been disconnected except for water necessary for fire protection. And whereas, let's see, yes, sir. Okay, and whereas the apartment complex is lacking active.
Okay.
Okay. And whereas the certain apartment complexes lacking active management are as follows. The Jolie Apartments at 1017 Quail Creek Road, Villa Norte Apartments, 1620 Fullerton Street, and okay. 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 All right, so it's saying here, Yes, sir. Okay, so I'm trying to share this. Oh man.
I was trying to see if I could share the pictures, but I've been unable to share the pictures.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to.
Calling from North Carolina. I thought I'd just check in and hang out with the brothers and listen to the real sounds of Black love and Black unity. So I thought I'd give a call in and talk to you all. Plus, I think I hear one of my brothers, Jermaine out of Louisiana. If that's him, I just want to shout him out and let him know we down for Louisiana and making sure things go right as far as the housing situation. We most definitely on deck, making sure that our people are doing the right thing in Louisiana in order for them to get the proper housing and get those elected officials kick their hind ends out of there because they need to get up out of there. They've been causing.
Yes, sir.
They've been the main. They've been the main problems. They've been the main problems. And
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They done did too much to our sisters and brothers down there, and we ready to make something shake for the betterment of our people. And we're going to do a big demonstration down there in Louisiana. So just know it's coming. It's coming.
We need a big demonstration. That's what we need, a big demonstration.
Yes, we do. We need a big demonstration down there. This is Cade DeWald out of North Carolina, New Black Panther Party. And we're gonna make sure we make something shake. We're gonna make something shake.
Yes, sir, Mr. DeWalt. We was on we was on the Zoom last night together, Mr. DeWalt. And appreciate you calling in, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely.
Yes, sir.
And then also too, Mr. DeWalt. Yes, sir, absolutely. And what I'm doing is this mayoral declaration about this, man. I'm putting it up here on social media right now. And then those who I'm tagging in it, if you within earshot of us, please share it. You know what I'm saying? Is because this is just downright ridiculous, man. And then also too,
it's a cover up.
Mr. Anderson has been going through a great deal of bringing attention to this. Okay, now I got it up here on my wall, Brother Che. And I think the last thing that I was reading is stating here that the city of Shreveport has made a good faith effort to assist lawful residents to relocate to alienate housing and other properties, and has determined that the vast majority of those persons remaining on the properties are occupying without authorization, with it being likely that more will come without effective action. And whereas on May 26, 2024, two alarm fire at the Jolie Apartments resulted in 3 firefighters being injured, with another fire having occurred there on May 28, 2024. Without access to electricity or natural gas services, unauthorized occupants are likely to start fires within or adjacent to the units, thus posing the danger of further fires, causing damage to the properties, to the permissive occupants, to the public, and first responders. Okay, it's up there on my wall. Please share it. Shabaka said, Corey. And it sounds like, man, is that what these dudes are in city government, man, are doing damage control as opposed to addressing the damn problem. You see what I mean?
This shit been going on for years.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so, they're playing politics, man. They're trying to blame the victims of these crimes as opposed to the perpetrators. You see what I mean? Or these politicians is something else. Yeah. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, if you are within earshot of us, please like and follow our like page on Facebook called Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Okay, it's because this is a travesty. Yes, and then of course, as far as I'm concerned, the city of Shreveport, Louisiana, are in cahoots with this. You see,
yes,
because there's no way they. Yeah. Yeah, because there's no way, man, they cannot be. See what I'm saying? There's no way that they cannot be, man.
That's right. And they also need to bring out that they own some properties here in Shreveport as well. Yes, they do. Yeah, you got to go under the Louisiana Secretary of State, and all y'all do is Google the council members' names online in Shreveport, and their names will pop up, and all of them. It's all of them. So they've been lying the whole time. It's pure negligence. It's all of that, and plus, and also the fact that they own properties here in the city of Shreveport. We need to put that on blast.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yes. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is, is that when it comes to us, all you guys are overreacting. All you guys just need to be complacent. All you guys just need to be some good coons. You know what I'm saying? Scratch your ass when it don't itch. Grin when nothing is funny. You see what I'm saying? We're all the same and all this bullshit. You see what I mean? And then, when we see through these smoke screens and what have you, then all of a sudden, they want to hurl a whole bunch of insults to us and things of that nature right there. And we definitely appreciate Mrs. DeWalt, for calling in and what have you. And Mr. DeWalt, please spread this story far and wide, sirs, because, this is serious, you see. And then also, too, this is the more reason for us to be concerned with our self-determination. You see what I'm saying? They say, because let's face it, man, these other groups, man, they don't give a damn about us. You know what I'm saying? And we do have an unknown caller right here as well, too. And please join in.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. And then also, too, out here in the West, you have similar situations, particularly up there in the Bay Area, around the Oakland area, because up in Oakland, California, you do have a lot of our people there, who are descendants of those out of Louisiana. You see what I mean? It's because, as we do know, during World War II and in the 1940s and 50s and what have you, you did have a great migration of people coming from the South out to California as well. So we want to raise and we want to raise the consciousness up out of there. And then also, too, Brother Paris, for Streamyard tonight. Oh, Gruesome Newsome, is doing something out there in California, but we'll talk about that there later. Okay, now the thing is that these people are not being held accountable because, let's be real, they going up there to, in my opinion, grafting and corruption of the city council and city legislature of Shreveport, Louisiana, you see. And then, as you can see, they're not addressing this issue, like they should, is because there should be headlines and there should be a major concern. But you're going up there telling the police, to go up there and arrest people who might lawfully live there and don't have access to their living arrangement. And then, of course, you don't have the city services of sanitation coming out there, picking up the trash. Yes, it's because it's hot and humid and muggy as it is down there in Louisiana and the South in general. That ain't nothing but a great big incubator for that bacteria. You see what I'm saying? Then it can cross-contaminate off in the water system. Then the next thing you know, man, the whole drinking water system down in Louisiana, will be tainted. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no. We got a grade F. Our water is a grade F. Yeah, they failed our water here. Oh yeah.
Well, they
so
don't
our drinking
fail the
water,
whole
our drinking water is not even permissible.
Those
right.
The people in Louisiana they're gonna get what they're looking for. It's a new day for Black
people.
people. It's a new
Yes,
day.
it is.
We got to understand that the whole objective for us as a people is to unite and come together, because we already come
Yes,
together.
sir.
And by us coming
Yes,
together
sir.
and understanding the collective situation that we need to improve on, it's already going to be improved on, because our minds, the intelligence that we have in our community, has far exceeded what they would have even imagined. And even when it comes to our artificial intelligence, they can't get by with the stuff they've been telling us. The stuff they've been telling us has been lies throughout the annals of time since they done had us in their captivity, and we've been in servitude to them. Now we done backed up and we done started doing the things that we know we supposed to do as a people on a collective basis. And what we're going to do now is, my whole objective is being in the new Black Panther Party is to revamp and redo the things that we know we have to do in order for us to stick together and build that type of continuity in order to make sure that we in the right lanes. And we are in the right lanes, because when I tell you it's a new day for Black people, they better understand that it's a new day, and we're gonna fight the powers that be. You better want to know it. I stand up, and I always stand on Black power.
And we want these, and we want these people arrested. We want these people arrested. These owners, and charges brought against these owners.
That's right.
Yep. And they still ain't. They still ain't. There still ain't the rest of the people that happened over a year ago at our apartments. The apartments I was at. And not only that, this has been an ongoing, like you said, an ongoing problem. The ones I stayed at previously, they had to shut down because of the owners, what they call that, when they don't want to rebuild and refix nothing. So they just went cold turkey, and all the people had to move out over there. So this is horrible here. So, it's terrible. Yeah, major slumlords. Major.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of it. We're coming through there with a team of lovers of Black people. Just know that.
And we gotta keep pushing this story out. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody even responded. Has anybody responded? Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. There's nothing being done. They're waiting for demolition. They're waiting for demolition. But here's the thing: the methods, the illegal ways, the illegal practices they use to get the people out those apartments. It's criminal. It's illegal. It's unlawful. And I will continue to say that. We will continue to say that, because the people out here ain't always saying that like they normally do. These black folks here, these Black people here in Shreveport, and I'm gonna put this out there. They won't stand up for shit. Excuse my language. They don't stand up for shit. They don't stand up. No, they don't stand up for nothing. No, I'm talking about the people standing up for their rights. That's why I just said they don't stand up for their rights out here. They don't. These people don't stand up for nothing around here. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, yeah. I'm doing all that. Yeah, I'm doing all that on Facebook. Like I said, it's on them. At this point, like I'm telling you, it's on y'all. Ain't nobody gonna come take and walk y'all through this. Y'all, it's on y'all. Y'all got to stand up and talk up. Ain't no kids here now. Y'all are adults. If y'all just allowing this to happen to y'all, really?
Yeah. And what it is just keep bringing attention to it. And then on top of it, too, need to start inboxing some of these city politicians down here in Shreveport, Louisiana, to let them know we're going to start putting their punk asses on blast. You see what I mean? And watch how fast, you know what I'm saying, that's something like that they're going to start doing shit. You know what I mean? And then also, too, out of the West, I'm just making a news note here, Brother Che. We might want to do this here on Frontline Black News. California owns $53 million after spending on immigrants. Okay, and I'm just putting it out there just to prove the point that these politicians are more concerned, okay, about nonsense and bullshit, you see what I'm saying, as opposed to, what's really affecting our people. You see what I mean? And then on top of that as well, too, is that, we also got to blame these coon-ass politicians, these coon-ass celebrities, you see what I mean, talking about everything else as opposed to things that really are a matter or of great concern to the Black community, such as this situation here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yes, so therefore the mayor signed a mayoral declaration. Okay, so what? How come you're not having your damn health department going over there, getting those people in a decent housing, even if you have to put them in motels, for 30 or 60 days until they can readjust? How come the mayor there, Arsenal, or whoever he is of Shreveport, Louisiana, is not concerned about those children in there, let alone senior citizens? You see what I'm saying? And then the overall general health. And then keep in mind with all that bacteria generating down there from this travesty, that could also start a major health concern for the whole state of Louisiana as well, too, because Louisiana is a humid climate. And then, as we all know, is that it's nothing but a great big incubator for that bacteria, you see. So it seems to me is that them fools will be down there and city government, man, getting on this shit, this very hour. But of course, we know they're not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? And then also, too, blog, talk, radio, and social media, we appreciate your shadow banning of this story right here, because that just simply proves that we are getting somewhere. The story that you all don't want to hear. You see what I mean? And it's just bad. And then also, too, oh, yes, sir. So we're getting the word out there. Yeah. Okay, ask them to call in, man. And the number to call in, gentlemen, is 516-418-5996. And then also, too, speaking with Mr. Anderson, okay, is taking some notes here, is that, you got no water, no electricity, families in uninhabitable units, gross negligence, okay, mold, okay, no groundskeeping, no air conditioning, and plus that, people, now here's it. And then, of course, the huge influx of rats and rodents down there, they say. And then there's possible fraud on the business transactions, you see, and false statements on the tenants not paying their rent, tenants been paying their rent, property management has deserted the property. And say so. This here has got child endangerment. Okay, also too life-threatening exposure to black mold. And then not to mention the fact, the danger that there is to the senior citizens as well, too, particularly those in their 70s and 80s, you know, who may be on walkers or may have special need issues as well, too. So then also, too, to find out.
There was a lady on oxygen as well.
Yeah, see?
Like life endangerment.
See?
Exactly.
Yeah, precisely.
Like she could die. That's almost like attempted murder. A person could die without oxygen.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit, yeah. You see, and then not to mention the fact is that Mr. Anderson has related to me down in the great state of Louisiana, they got squatter rights. So which means that some of these migrant flooding individuals can come in there, go in these units, and then set up in the empty units, you see. And the city administrators are negligent on this property as well, too. You see? And then, of course, code enforcement violations. You see what I'm saying? Dereliction of duty of these politicians and department heads of the city of Shreveport, Louisiana, such as the health department, the fire department. You know, those guys need to be replaced. You see? And then, of course, there's fraud on the out-of-state management company that owns these properties. And Mr. Anderson had sent me their names. But unfortunately, I've been unable to share it on Facebook. And Mr. Anderson, if you can, sir, relate the names of those out-of-state property owners of this and how they abandoned this property.
Okay, I'll give you the first one. Okay, I sent you the pictures. I sent you the pictures of the gentlemen the gentlemen who own these properties from out of New York. The first one,
yeah, sure.
The first one's name is Abraham Knopfler out of Brooklyn, New York, and that other gentleman's name is Anwar. It's a German last name. I can't pronounce it. Anwar something. The last name starts with the S. It's with an S.
Okay.
One of our people in the chat is asking the MD. Shout out to the MD. He said, "Is the new black media carrying this story? It's my understanding that TBA lives in Shreveport. Have you heard anything from him about this story?" Yeah, we had asked him that on Tuesday, MD. He didn't even know who that was.
Okay, and ask MD to call in if he can.
Okay.
And then we have an unknown caller here as well, too. An unknown caller, if you'd like to comment or give input on this story, just press 1, and we'd be more than happy to have you on the air. And I'm wondering if this is Sarge or not.
It might be Sarge. Is that you, Sarge?
Yeah, if that's you, Sarge, go ahead and press 1 and let's argue. Yep. Okay, so moving right along. Okay.
Yep.
All right, the unknown caller has put his hand up.
Oh. That's definitely Sarge.
Okay.
Oh, Sarge, you were on time today.
Okay, unknown.
Sarge.
What?
Unknown no longer. Isn't it wonderful to finally have an identity? Oh, I'm telling you, I'm really glad I got an identity now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes, Sarge, we know it was you. And by the way, Sarge, I really appreciate Joe Gibson, man, for kicking me off his show yesterday, man, when I told the truth, man, about Benjamin O. Davis Jr., that the German Luftwaffe was no match for. Mm-hmm. And then not to mention the fact, man, what Haile Selassie did, you know, defending Ethiopia and running Mussolini up out of there as well, too. But Sarge, we'll argue about that later. But we're dealing with a human rights violation right here down there in Shreveport, Louisiana, about uninhabitable living conditions, man, you know, for our people down there. And what's your input on that, Sarge? And we know you got a lot to say, Sarge. Your voice carries everywhere. Okay, Sarge, come on with it.
Well, let me guess. Now, let me see if I'm going out on a limb here. Let me see. Shreveport is run by Democrats. Could I be correct about that?
Okay, I'll say it's a safe bet, Sarge. I'm willing to take the last $50, Sarge, and go over to the casino and bet.
I'm shocked. Well, wait. Before you go any further now, I understand that, but let's face it, federalism exists in the states too, and the cities are primarily responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of their people. That's why they're incorporated. That's why they have a charter. That's why they can collect taxes. That's why they can do all of that.
Right.
They get all their powers from the state legislature, and they are primarily responsible. And Democrats always try to pull that mess. When they fail their citizenry, they try to blame it on people who don't have direct day-to-day control over the activities that go on in their city. That is a hallmark of the demon rat.
Okay, so
I disagreed with you. I disagreed with you, sir. I didn't argue. It's the governor who is a Republican who runs the state. But let me stress again, the day-to-day activities of the city of Shreveport are run by the locally elected government, and they have infinitely more to do with the prospects of any city than does the faraway governor in a state capital.
Okay, all right, Sarge, you'll get no argument from me on that. Basically, you're right. And folks, our chat room is open for hate mail. We'll be more than happy to read it.
Wait a minute. So how come the government of Shreveport appears to be consistently letting down its people? Now, I'm not saying that the governor doesn't have a lot to do with it, but let me tell you something about Chicago. You know how much I hated Chicago, especially run by Democrats. I'm up there working at it. But let me tell you one thing about Chicago. Mayor Daley didn't go to the government of Illinois for almost anything. In fact, he would, at every opportunity, he'd reject their interference in his city. And the city was, I got to admit, as much as I hated Democratic rule, it was fairly efficiently managed. The services worked, the roads stayed fixed, the garbage got picked up, the utilities always worked, the city was clean for the most part. Hey, you know what I mean? The mayors run the city. Don't try to blame it on the governor in the state capital when you got people in local who run away businesses. They won't fix the crime problem. They won't do what they have to see to it. They get good schools and good education, and they don't attract economic activity to the city. So don't blame it on the state governor when the people elect their government at a local level.
It's the mayor's fault.
But
it's the mayor's Shreveport's fault.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, he's a Democrat. I mean,
this is a common pattern. It repeats itself in thousands of locales across the United States. Wherever demon rats reign, and particularly when these demon rats reign for decades, the corruption, the particular type of corruption that they institute is endemic. And it's almost impossible to get rid of it. They're like viruses.
Yeah, Sarge, you'll get no argument from me. You know what I'm saying? None whatsoever, Sarge. That's why I'm on the couch this election year, man, because I can't do it no more because of shit like this. You see what I mean? And then, these bastards who own this place, man, they up there in the great state of New York. You know what I mean? And what have you. Where they recently convicted your boy of 38 counts of fraud, but we'll argue about that there on another podcast.
Oh, please. You ain't getting away with that with me.
The truth hurts, don't it, Sarge? But
no.
The
truth devoid of context does not hurt. I am happy to provide all the context for you against your assertion. We're not going to say all convictions are equal because they are not. Because you have railed against all sorts of convictions that were unjust against black men, and they were done by duly convened juries, duly constituted courts, yet still you said they were unjust. Trump's conviction is no exception.
Like I said, Sarge, send his ass to Alcatraz, man, where he could do his time. He could take Stormy Daniels over there or any other other tramps that he's had that he's been paying for with his trick ass. But the dump is unimportant at this time. We're talking about, Sarge, a major health crisis here. Actually, we are speaking about a form of genocide that not only needs the great state of Louisiana's attention, not only does it need the U.S. government's attention, but it needs the worldwide attention on this, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? And the fools who own these apartments, I like to see them get sued the shit out of them, break them for everything they have, and put them in a cardboard box. Or better yet, why don't they just simply have a judge or issue a warrant, and you would know more about that, Sarge, have them catch transported to Shreveport, Louisiana, and have them do their time in those apartments, man, for about 5 years under those same conditions, and let the roaches, the bed bugs, the water moccasins go up there and bite them in the ass. How about that? I can't hear you, Sarge.
I got my dog here with me. Wait a minute, I got my dog here with me. My dog is pressing up against my side because he wants to play catch. He was distracting me for a moment. Now, would you please repeat your question?
Okay, the question is this, Sarge. Okay, why doesn't Heidi Biden, which he's not going to do, issue an executive order to have them dudes arrested for interstate flight of crimes out the great state of New York, have them transported to Louisiana, all this stinking asses in the court, and have the fucking judge sentence them, man, to a house arrest under those same conditions in those apartments, man, for about 90 days. They wouldn't last 1 week in there.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the Department of Justice should issue an interstate flight to avoid prosecution warrant for some fugitives. Now, who are these fugitives that they need to have this warrant set out for?
Okay, Mr. Abraham, Mr. Anderson does have those names.
Abraham Mansour with real estate in Brooklyn, New York. We want a warrant issued effective quickly, immediately. Matter of fact, that's what I want. I want it issued out, and this should have been done over a year ago. I was the first one who brought these conditions to light in this parish. They stepped under the rug over a year ago. It's ridiculous. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is private property. How is this shit private property when it's within city limits?
Maybe we'll bring it. This what he'll talk about.
Like I said, I'm not really acquainted with the issue on which you're speaking. Now, have they been indicted for anything? Has there been an indictment or a criminal warrant? Well, they can't be fugitives.
To the black community.
There's no warrant. No, would you say first of all, you got to get a grand jury convened, and you got to get a prosecutor to bring charges against them for whatever it is they've done. They can't be fugitives without a pending indictment from which they have fled prosecution.
Okay. Well, it seems to me, Sarge, based on everything that you just said, if the city council of Shreveport was responsible, if Tom Arsenault, the mayor there, was responsible, he would set those motions in action.
What's happening in Shreveport ever.
And you need to have at the federal level, you need to have the housing and urban development in there, Sarge.
Well, I think the first level in it for some citizens there who believe that there's been criminal wrongdoing to swear out a complaint with the district attorney, the parish attorney, whatever they call them there in Louisiana. Take that up with them first to see if they can take action. If they don't, then that's where you put the public pressure on them to get such a warrant issued. Because the jurisdiction is going to have to come from the district attorney.
I went down there to speak at
Okay, but Sarge, they're dragging their feet on that process, Sarge. Okay, they're dragging their feet on due process, Sarge. That's the point we're making. They are dragging their feet on due process. Okay,
no, that's where what comes in. Well, that's where what comes in earlier what you were talking about earlier, public pressure to get the district attorney to change their mind. After all, didn't that happen in the case of Daniel Perry? Remember in New York? Didn't that happen there? Didn't that happen with Fat Alvin Bragg? Fat Alvin Bragg looked at the charges against Trump, declined to prosecute. Then when Trump filed he was running for president, guess what? 2 weeks later, Alvin Bragg had convened the grand jury and decided to indict him on the same charges he had declined prosecution earlier on. And by the way, the Federal Election Commission, who had the jurisdiction over it, because it was a federal offense, declined to make the charges as well. No, I'm saying, I'm just giving you an example.
No, Sarge, you are diverted from the issue at hand. I don't disagree with anything that you say, but right now, Sarge, we're dealing with a human rights violation. Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And actually, what they need to do, they need to take
Shabaka, all I'm saying is that public pressure has a great deal to do with the actions of a district attorney, particularly a corrupt finger to the wind, fat bastard like that Alvin Bragg. So you're putting a pressure on your district attorney, whether it's him or any other, and maybe you can get them to do what you want.
Okay, well then it seems to me, Sarge, you should be the first one supporting this cause right here of putting pressure on the district attorney down in Shreveport, Louisiana. It seems to me, I mean, is that reasonable thinking right there, Sarge, or I'm just old and senile, man, and forgot shit? I can't hear you, Sarge. Sarge.
Look, man. You know what I think about this. Look. The political element conflicts with the judicial because in the judiciary process, the only concern of an honest prosecutor, I don't care what the situation of this is to look at the best interest of justice and the proper application of the law and the Constitution. He has no other duty before that. None. And if he can't do that, then he doesn't need to call himself a prosecutor.
Okay, but Sarge, once again, Sarge, you proved my point once again. It seems to me, man, that the powers that be down in the great state of Shreveport, Louisiana, that this should be their first top priority. But what does the mayor do down there? He's directing the police, to get people up out of there illegally, and they have no place to go, as per Mr. Anderson. You see what I'm saying? They have no place to go, Sarge. You see what I mean? So it seems to me that old Tom Arsenault need to be opening up his mayor's mansion for them to live there in the meantime until the people get find decent and habitable housing. And then what the feds need to do, is that they need to swear out a warrant for these bastards' arrest who owns this shit and have them brought down there and sentence them to go live in there, man, for about 6 months. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
Now, see, and then the cold part about that is, you see what I'm saying, is that you got too much graft and corruption going on, Sarge. And basically what it is that these assholes, man, along with these politicians who are complacent with this shit, okay, everybody's serving their self-interest. You see what I mean? Everybody's serving their self-interest, okay? And then even when our people try to work within the system, Sarge, as you know, during the civil rights era, they would throw all these roadblocks up there. They would throw all this debris in their path, on the path of justice. You see what I mean? So therefore, man, you know, so what we're dealing here was flagrant, blatant human rights violations, flagrant, blatant hypocrisy, flagrant, blatant racial hatred of black people, Sarge.
Well, you know, I know that you could say that, and I suppose we know historically there's a great deal of evidence for that fact. But any time you place too much reliance on any government, you have a tendency to be, you know, disappointed. I think a lot of it is the nature of government itself. So I think what you need to do is have a government that is able to create the environment for you to create a space in which you and your community can prosper. And the government usually, in the American system, that governs least, governs best, consistent with the necessity to maintain civil society and civil order. So you get a government that gets off your back, lets you go ahead, doesn't tax you to death, and lets you set up the things that make your, because ain't no government bureaucrat gonna make your life better. That's gonna be you and working in concert with others that will do that. And by the way, you know, Joe, we are constantly, you know,
Joe's not on here, Sarge.
Well, I mean, not Joe, but I mean, I said, Joe and you, when you call in, you constantly hear us talking about corporations and like BlackRock and Vanguard Group, of which BlackRock is a part. We are constantly talking about the corruption they are introducing into American cultural life and American politics. We don't like them either.
Hey, I don't know any Godfather. They say Michael Corleone do this. They say he do that. I said, yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm just telling you, man, we don't like him either. I don't know why you think we got a beef about it. We think I like BlackRock and the Vanguard Group. Are you serious? Vanguard is becoming a government entity in its own right.
Okay, but
so yes, I'm very concerned about them aggrandizing power by buying up real estate and homes. It's very corruptive. Yes, we share that concern.
Yeah, exactly. Now, also too, Sarge, are you aware of the fact, man, that people who are not citizens in a lot of foreign countries cannot own property there? But here in the United States, all you got to do is have some money and buy property. You see what I'm saying? Just like Stinky Bird, you know, he is a bore, okay? He buys property here in the United States, you know, perpetuating his garbage, submerging the truth, just like how they shadow banned us, Sarge, you know what I'm saying? And then, Sarge, when you guys get up there and crumb bomb on me and Brother Che, and I guess you call in, man, on serious issues, please spell our name right. You see what I'm saying? And what have you, because you guys straight dissed me yesterday. You see what I'm saying? Which is fine. It was expected. That's why I just went on and hung up. You see what I mean? And then when you get brain dead, ass scratching Negroes like Pianti, you sit up there and says, well, just turn a blind eye. Oh, we all the same and all this bullshit, okay? And then when it comes to serious issues like this right here, man, well, you know, we can't get nobody, you know, to support us. But fuck it, we don't need their support. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it ourselves, with or without them. It would be nice if they came on board with us about this situation and similar situations around the nation. You see what I mean? But however, it is what it is. I yield.
Well, I understand the complaints, but you know how it is when people disagree strongly about issues that they are concerned about. But nonetheless, you'd be surprised at the common ground you have with many of the things you profess to believe and many of the things they profess to believe. I'm telling you, you're not as far apart as you think you are.
Well, I find that very, very interesting, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? But please continue. Okay, now, Sarge, with you working napkin holders and what have you, man, or what you did up there in the great state of Illinois, okay, which is part of the Louisiana Purchase, just like like Illinois, Missouri, Louisiana is, and I believe Arkansas was down off in there. What public pressure, in your opinion, to be placed on these idiots down there in Shreveport, Louisiana, who is responsible for this travesty, to get them to get up off their ass and do something about it?
We all know what that is. We've seen it over.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarge. You have the floor.
Well, we've seen it over and over again. Public pressure on the appropriate official. I mean, it has a way of, especially if they're weak-kneed and they don't really have a core, and they stick their finger in the wind to see which way it's blowing. They are very responsive to public pressure. You just got to be able to get enough people to agree with you to go up there and raise a ruckus. That's what the First Amendment is for, brother. Then you petition your government for redress of grievance. As long as you do it peaceably, you've got the right to petition your government for redress of any grievance. Any.
Okay, but Sarge, that's what they've been doing down there, you see, and they have been systemically ignored, okay? So when I say systemically ignored, that means that you got two or more people who are involved in this suppression of this horrible crisis. So what that is, Sarge, is something called conspiracy, okay? Across state lines.
Yeah, but we're not trying to hear that shit.
You see, and then on top of it as well, too, you see what I'm saying? You know, they're not doing nothing about it. You see what I mean? They're not doing nothing about it. You know, they might have been told, they might have been put on puppet strings. You see?
But I didn't give a fuck. I don't want to hear that shit no more.
Well, look. Well, look. You know, okay. I mean, I get your complaint, but look, just complaining isn't going to get nothing. Look, these politicians, stop putting any faith in these politicians. I don't have a faith in a lot of them at all, unless they have moral integrity and corruption. And moral integrity and character. And those kind of politicians of any stripe are increasingly more difficult to find these days. So what they do respond to, though, is pressure. And if you can get the appropriate pressure on them, you can get the kind of things that you want.
Okay, so you said put some public pressure on them, right, Sarge?
That always works. Usually, if you get enough people to go along with you.
If we need a recall, we need a recall.
Right. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And it's absolutely done nothing. You've done nothing for our citizens and for the people of Shreveport. They can get everybody else with those watered down, out. Yeah, we've done this for the people of Shreveport. We've done that and this and the other. Yeah, okay. No, you've done nothing. And the way he got in there was through default. Do y'all know what that means?
Yeah.
He didn't win because of the people's votes. He got in there behind default. I just kept him not even talking about that shit.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So basically, man, what they're doing is just playing politics with it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I see. Okay, Mr. DeWalt, you know, if you're out there, brother, feel free to call in. And if you can't, please share the episode link. Okay, and this episode link, let me see right here if I can pull up the episode link, which is http://tobtr.com/tobs/12344950. Okay, and that is the short link, to this episode. And please share it far and wide. Okay, now another thing is that has been stated all along, Sarge, for the last 50 years that I know of. Oh, we need to work within this system that is morally bankrupt and totally corrupt. Okay, and this is why, Sarge, we have emphasized over the years of doing this about our own self-sufficiency. And it seems to me that you would get some of these black celebrities, black politicians who would pool their resources to get some hotel rooms, for the people who are in this residence. They could write it off on their taxes. You see what I mean? Because you could best believe if these was white folks or if these was Asians, this would have been done, and it would not have escalated, this far. But however, America places low value on the quality of black people's lives, African Americans, or what have you. You see what I mean? And this just goes to show is that we got to ease a lot of this division within. Is because if this was happening to any other group of people, particularly Asians, man, this situation would have been resolved. They say, I just had to put that out there. You see what I'm saying? I just had to put that out there, Sarge. Comments, please.
So let me see. So you're thinking. So your take on this is that a major electoral constituent of the political powers in that state would choose to ignore it, but would instead defer to a lesser electorate that doesn't have as much influence on their ability to remain in power. That somehow doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, but what it is, though, Sarge, is that worldwide pressure or...
Well, and that may be true, and that's why I say abandon them completely. Even if you don't want to vote for Republicans, don't vote for them.
Yeah, exactly. You see? So you either got Democrats or you got reptilians to choose from, Sarge. What's wrong now with third party and independent candidates coming in? Because like I said, Sarge, for at least the last 56 years that I've known that I've witnessed, man, from 1968 up to this point, man, it's the same bullshit, man, that they shove down our throats every election year. Oh, you got to vote Democrat. Oh, you got to vote Democrat. You know what I'm saying? And the Democrats is the main ones that are fucking over us. I mean, look at Barack Obama. Okay? Yeah, right. Look at Barack Obama. Which is nothing more than a bunch of prepackaged bullshit. And like I say, Sarge, you get no argument from me, man, about these Democrats whatsoever. But these reptilians, man, they the flip side of the same coin. You see what I mean? Really, they are. And what they need to do Sarge.
Well, say again.
Can't hear you, man.
Say again.
Say again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I don't know. I don't know. Look, I don't know if you can expect them to do anything considering what you want them to do for you. I don't think that everybody knows that the reparations platform that you guys are so passionately for, that's just not going to fly with the Republican electorate. But there are things that the Republican Party will do for you and anyone that the Democrats will never do. And I think to some extent there is a rejection of that. Like for instance, like freeing away the sort of unduly restrictive regulation and control that interferes with the establishment of business, like undue taxation, overregulation, barriers to admission to things like hair weaving. Look what the Washington D.C. City Council did with Black women who wanted to establish hair weaving salons with all their crazy regulations and rules. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Commerce is the key to betterment in the United States. The ability to participate in the free economic market that is not hampered by corporate influence that sets up a playing field that isn't fair. And Democrats love corporations and big business. You see, that's their big donor. Those are the people they cater to. Those are the people who make things hard for entry-level people who are trying to get in the door. When I'm talking about taxation, businesses are taxed. And big businesses and corporations can afford to pay these exorbitant fees. Entry-level businesses cannot. So when you're talking about entrepreneurs, you are talking about people who are going to be unduly taxed by the governmental establishment. For one means, in one sense, in some respects, in order for them to institute control. That's what I keep saying. Control is the demon rat's stock in trade. Okay, so that's what I mean by taxation. So if you're a businessman, you got to be worried about taxes. You're a business entrepreneur. Taxation is one of your biggest bugaboos. And where are the businesses fleeing to? The states without state taxes, especially on businesses. And what is the state getting? The state, guess what, is now getting more revenue than they were before, because now the increased economic activity in the form of sales taxes gives them more money than they would get by just taxing the hell out of the businesses.
Yeah, well, Sarge, what it is what's wrong with them going up there, man, swearing out some arrest warrants, okay?
Yes,
and avoid these
right.
cats also, too, with interstate flight to avoid prosecution. What's wrong with that?
There is no prosecution with no grand jury and no indictment.
Sarge. You
can't just declare somebody a fugitive.
That is too much like right.
Wait a minute, no. See, now you're being Soviet. Now you're being Soviet, Shabaka. We don't live in the Soviet Union. We have a thing called due process, whether you think it's a good idea or not. You just can't declare somebody a fugitive because they don't answer the charges that haven't even been filed yet. It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that.
No, I have the criminal investigation report. That's what y'all not listening to. There is a criminal investigation, what I'm saying, and they've been charged.
Well, you're saying that they have been indicted?
No, they haven't been indicted.
No,
they have not been indicted.
Well, you can't have a warrant for interstate flight then without an indictment. An investigation is not sufficient.
No. I'm saying that this happened back in 2022 with the first initial round of people from New York that came down here and took over our property illegally. Those people was been under investigation because they stole the COVID money, the pandemic money, and all of that.
Right.
All that was discovered. These people they fled this state and went back to New York, knowing the crimes in which they have committed. Correct.
Well, I think the procedure is to get an indictment, because they can still be indicted whether they're out in the state or not. Once the indictment is filed and it's been reached, then the district attorney can file a warrant for extradition with the state where they're in, but not an interstate flight to avoid prosecution, because then they have a right to contest the extradition. But you can't do that. Look, without a warrant, not just an investigation, without a warrant based on an indictment, you can't charge them with that. You can have a warrant for their arrest and extradition, and it has to be filed with the state that has jurisdiction where they're located.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and providing, of course, you know, that they're not in these fools' pockets. You know what I'm saying? You see what I mean? You see? Because you got to look at that there, Sarge. You know Chicago politics. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes, Sarge. Grafting, corruption. And after all, Sarge, Chicago was home to Al Capone for many, many years. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, Sarge, they got certain ways of doing things there in the great city of Chicago. You know what I mean? And then, two, Sarge, is what it is that I've always advocated is that the Pan-African community has got to come on code within itself, number one, to support Brother Che's premise on that. And then we need to control our own commerce. Now, the reason why these other groups are vehemently against that is because if they lost black commerce, you see what I'm saying? A lot of them would go bankrupt, and I would love to see it. But with me being an old bastard, you know, on my way out, I don't think it would happen in my lifetime, but I would love to see it happen in the future of whatever celestial bodies, you know, that I might be a part of at that time, you see. And this here had proved Malcolm X's point is that integration was the worst thing that ever happened to the black community.
Now, wait a minute.
Because
did you hear what the Demon Rats just did to Byron Donalds the other day when he said something that you and I have agreed upon many times? And for his saying it, the Demon Rats chose to distort his words beyond all recognition of anything that he actually said, because that's what they always do. They said he was saying something good about Jim Crow when you know what he said was, and it's a fact, the black community was intact during Jim Crow to the extent it is not today. Black people of marriageable age were married at between a 60 to 70% rate in 1963. A 60 to 70% rate. If you were a black person of marriageable age, you were more likely than not to be married. That is not true anymore today, and that is a fact. And for literally saying the facts, and that's important, I think, especially to raising children, he got pilloried by these lousy, rotten, stinking demon rats. They'll do it every single time.
90 seconds.
For me, Sean. You know what I'm saying? It's because you know, the black family unit, you see what I'm saying, needs to be, you know. Right.
Look, I don't know about you.
That's what
I don't know about you.
Life was about.
I don't know about you, but I look.
60 seconds.
Look. I grew up in an era where all of my friends had fathers in the house with all of them, and I know that my grandfather and my father married their wives because they loved them, because that's all I saw them give to them was love and respect. Yeah, they had arguments, but for the most part, what I saw from them was love and respect. The reason I married my black wife, because I loved her. Yes, wanted to have kids too, but the primary motivation was me loving her and desiring her in my life. I'm sure it was the same for most. They didn't look at economic considerations. Say, hey, I want this woman because we need to have enough kids to raise the farm or work the farm. That's the incidental part of the love you have for them. And of course, everybody wants to reproduce. That's a basic human imperative. Like food and shelter.
May I speak?
At least it used to be until all this sexual deviancy got introduced by the demon rat.
Hello, may I speak for a second, please?
Not made as a primary pride of place feature of the culture. It never was. Yes, it's always existed, but it was never made a virtue before.
Hello.
Now they're making it into a virtue. something to be desired and sought after, sexual deviancy.
Well, Sarge, just like what you and I discussed, man, about the motion picture Mandingo, that one thing that you refuse to agree with me on, Sarge, is that just what we was talking about was sexual deviancy, man, on the plantation system.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Now, you see, you apparently don't listen to me because I never said I didn't agree with you that it occurred. You know, I obviously, when I look at my gene pool, as I have told you many times, Shabaka, when I look at my gene pool, I am confident that it happened.
Okay, Sarge.
No, that's not what I said either. See, that's what I mean. Sarge. I don't know. See, I don't know why I got to explain this over and over again because I speak clearly and I know I do. I know it's easy to distort what I say, but I speak it plainly. Let me say again what I said, and just for the record, let me say again what I said. I said the issue of slavery is a paradox. It is possible to say things that are apparently self-contradictory, but yet both are true. Slavery made possible the largest liberty-oriented group of people in the world today, Black Americans. Without it, they would not be here on the North American continent. That is true. And it's also true that those circumstances that brought him here were regrettable. Now, if you want to say it would have happened another way, then give me your theory as to how it would have happened.
Okay, first place, Sarge. Once again, Sarge, we're talking about the hummingbird again, okay? We're talking about the hummingbird. And then, you know, through the contamination, man, of quote-unquote, the miscegenation of the old South, okay? This has done a lot of mental damage to our people. We're not going to talk about the physical abuse, the self-hatred, you know what I mean? Okay, and what have you, and then we could start your closing comments soon. Okay, but Sarge, what happened, like what went on in Louisiana that they were known for, the great state of Alabama, where my ancestors slaved, okay? Same thing in the great state of Georgia, Florida, what have you. And then these clowns is going to sit up there and tell us that we do not deserve reparations, right? But all of a sudden, they got all these millions of dollars for these fucking migrants coming over here. And you even got some of them sons of bitches going up there doing TikTok videos about how they can go up here, take over people's houses, have squatter rights and all that bullshit. You say, but when it comes to us about reparations, was that so long ago? See, that's diversionary tactics, Sarge. You know it. I know it. Brother Che knows it. Mr. Anderson knows it. You see what I mean? And then you even have those complacent black actors out there in Hollywood that know it. But they put a brain dead Uncle Tim Scott up there, skinning and grinning with his buck. We looking at, oh, Master Charlie, I need a leg, I need a leg, you the bow. You had the field Negro and you had the house Negro. The field Negro will go up there to the house Negro and say, hey, man, let's escape. Let's run away. And what does that brain-dead ass house Negro say? Oh, man, what's better than what we got here? So he's got shackles on his brain, man. And then we supposed to sit up here and love these raping, slave-trading pedophiles. Is that what you're telling me, son? I can't hear you.
No, that's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is, and I've told you repeatedly, no matter what atrocities were done to my ancestors, no matter what, and I fully acknowledge them as atrocities, and I'm completely aware of the historical context in which they occurred. No matter what those atrocities are, I am glad that I am here. I am not changing that position. The reason I am here is because of what they endured.
Sarge.
You understand what a paradox is?
Yeah, a contradiction, which is true, like the hummingbird, Sarge. Like the hummingbird, Sarge. Here we go talking about the hummingbird again.
I don't accept that.
Here we go talking about the hummingbird, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to with you coming on board with the reparation. You see what I'm saying? America is not the land of the free. Hell, look at Crispus Attucks, you know, a black man that went out there, you know what I'm saying, got caught in crossfire, talking about he's the first to die for independence. Come on, man, give me a break with that bullshit, Sarge. Come on, man.
Well, actually, given what I know about the actual history, because I don't believe in myth making, I like to study history accurately as I can. You know that. I would suggest to you that I don't think Crispus Attucks or the other 5 men who died with him were concerned about American independence. They were drunk and they were on a bender. And they saw the redcoats standing there on guard duty outside of the courthouse, and they decided to fuck with them. And they wound up throwing things at them that made them fear for their lives, and they got shot. And John Adams, who became one of the greatest patriots of the Revolution, was able to prove that in a court of law to a group of colonist jurors. They accepted his argument. They said those British redcoats had a right to fear for their safety, and they had a right to shoot at the people throwing snowballs and rocks at them.
Okay,
so look,
now
I understand. Look, I understand myth making, because myth making is important to countries. But I'm a historian. You know that. I'm an amateur, yes, but I study history with all the rigor of any professional historian. And when I find out the facts, I will tell you them as best I know.
Okay, now, Sarge, I can't blame you for that, but at the same token, over the research that I've done, Sarge, for the last 50 years, okay, is that our people who have hard feelings about this, rather they here on the continent of North America, rather in the Caribbean, rather in Brazil, rather they're in Haiti or what have you. You see what I'm saying? We are justified to feel the way that we are. We are also justified to have reparations payments, you see, because even Dr. King himself stated, Sarge, is that he led his people into a burning house with integration. Face it, Sarge, it doesn't work, man. It has not worked. You see what I'm saying? And it will not work. Now, old frog face. Segregation yesterday, segregation day, and segregation tomorrow. Now, the thing about frog face, Sarge, is this. He spoke how he honestly felt, because there's an old saying from South Central Los Angeles, Sarge. Never apologize for how you honestly feel. Now, your boy, the dump, as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way. Okay, send his ass to Alcatraz, you know, send Stormy Daniels over there, you know what I'm saying? Take the rest of them bombs with him for Secret Service protection, and he'll have that whole place to himself. Be sure to shut off the plumbing, let him go shit and piss in a bucket, you know what I'm saying? Don't allow him to shower, you know, to add more to his misery of violating, you know, the great office of the presidency of the United States. You see, and Sarge, and when it comes to the dump, as in human shit, the words of his predecessor comes through my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not a crook. And the sad part about it is, Sarge, is that so many people have went out there and died all across all political, racial spectrums and what have you to uphold this hypocritical ass office. You see what I'm saying? Because look what they're doing with Hunter Biden. Man is a damn dope fiend. He should be sitting in there in his county blues, man, with a no-bell hold like they did so many black folks. You see what I'm saying? All across this nation. And the dude should be doing some serious time. But the poor little white boy, he's strung out on dope. But very interesting when it was going on in the black community. Well, they're just a bunch of animals anyway. So let those colors, you know, just go on in and kill and destroy themselves. You see what I mean? I can't hear you, Sarge.
Well, look, I think it is rather unfortunate to characterize a nation as great as the United States by the worst things that have happened in its history. I prefer to characterize it by the best things that it's done. And I think if you look at both, you come to a happy middle. Yes, I'm serious. I'm serious as a heart attack. What's the alternative? Where would you like to go in the United States that you're going to have it better than here? Give me the country. And why? And if that's true, why haven't you left for it? Because you know the potential this country has. That's the reason you're not going anywhere. And you also say to yourself, you got that stubborn streak that most Americans have, and that is
neo-colonialist, Sarge, is the problem. Neo-colonialism is the problem, Sarge. You see what I'm saying? Neo-colonialism.
Well, look, again, I think that you have that streak that most Americans have to demand their rights and what is due them, and that's what you're doing in your own way. You say this country had a declaration that said men are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and you are in your way demanding the right to that pursuit. And in that respect, I applaud you for it. I'm simply saying that that's one of the reasons I don't think you've left, because you do think this country has the potential to give you that pursuit of happiness as you see it to be. That's why you haven't gone anywhere.
Sarge. Okay, Sarge.
Not democracy. We don't have democracy.
Damn check, Sarge, for the reparations, okay? If America is such this place, man, of justice and equality and all of that, then what they would do is cut the reparations checks. You see what I'm saying? Because I think out there in California, you know, they're trying to move forward with that there a little bit. Now, I have to give with Dr. Bay on that. You see what I'm saying? And you're familiar with Dr. Bay, Sarge. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So if they had any type of decency, Sarge, they would say, fuck these goddamn migrants and cut the goddamn check, okay? But that's too much like right, Sarge. You see what I'm saying? That there's too much like right. So what they want to do is that they just want to keep projecting the image, you see what I'm saying, of this alternative agenda.
I'm not saying they're better. You seem to think that I'm thinking they're better. I'm not telling you to vote for Republicans. The Republicans disappoint the hell out of me too. I'm saying stop voting for a Democrat. Vote for anybody else or don't vote at all. But voting for them is the worst thing to do. You don't have to vote for Republicans. That's what you do for them is your business. Even if you want to vote for a Democrat, I think it is unwise to vote for them. They are a plague. They are a virus on the body politic. They embody everything that rejects the best things about the United States.
Okay, Sarge, tell me, what is the best thing about the United States for black people?
Okay,
look what's happening in the Shreveport. Look what happened during the civil rights era. Look at the trial of the Scottsboro boys. Look at the trial of the Central Park Five. Look at the mistrials of the Black Panther Party, Sarge. When these people were sitting up here, man, upholding the basic rights of this hypocritical document, man, called the United States Constitution. I can't hear you, Sarge.
Well, it's the same thing. See, you act like I don't have an answer. I got an answer for all these things. You cannot stump me in this regard because I've thought it through for a long time. The things that are best about the United States are the things that are best for all of its people. And that's what it embodies. Due process, a regard for law, the rule of law, and the constitutional order, and the recognition of the inalienable rights of men that are protected by its constitution. That is what is best about the United States for all people, black people, whether you want to admit it or not. Not a guarantee of anything, no. Not a guarantee of anything.
Okay, Sarge.
That's not true either.
Oh, yes, it is, Sarge.
No, it isn't.
It's because
no,
it slaves.
Oh, no,
yes, it is, Sarge.
No, it isn't.
It's because when the slaves got sick, Sarge, they didn't call medical personnel. They called a fucking veterinarian, who would treat animals.
So again, when you're referring to me about, So again, you're referring to me about the way Democrats looked at black people. Okay, I'll go along with that. But again, I'm talking about what the people who wrote the Constitution that I am referring to. I prefer to go not by what a slave owner does, by what the people who wrote the Constitution said about the very people that you're referring to when they debated the matter at the Constitutional Convention. Not all of them were. Yeah. Most of them were not. No, they weren't.
Majority of them were.
How many people signed the Declaration of Independence? Do you know? See, you're making you're making factual statements that are not backed up by the record. Okay, the majority of them were not slaveholders.
Sarge.
19 or 22 of them were. That's not a majority.
Sarge. Listen to me when I tell you this, okay? We have argued about this here in the Dred Scott case.
And it was legal. How many people today are involved with legal abortion activity? I think that's worse than slavery.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, with the raping, slave trading pedophiles, what they could do with their slaves, they could mortgage their slaves, they could rent out their slaves. You see what I'm saying? They could hold slaves as collateral is because they were considered property. And this is as per one of your favorite authors that you said by the name of Mr. Lerone Bennett Jr. And on past episodes, whether we've been on this platform, on other platforms, Sarge, we've debated this. And once again, Sarge, I got to cut the ring off from you. You see what I'm saying, man? Because you don't have no out on this. This shit was brutal. It was inhumane. And then, like the Joe Gibsons and yourself, then you come with a diversionary answer. But what about the Irish and all that? Oh, shit. Is because
I haven't mentioned them yet. I don't say that.
Out of the water, Sarge. Why do so many black folks still have the names of the raping, slave trading pedophiles who are named that are Irish, such as McIntosh, McDonald, McAdams,
one thing at a time. All right, one thing at a time. All right. You're throwing a lot of logs on the fire. You're throwing a lot of logs. You're throwing a lot of logs on the fire. Let's deal with one thing at a time, okay? All right, now look. All right, now look. Okay. Why is it that the Constitution does not even refer to any race until the 15th Amendment was adopted in the Constitution? There's not one single reference to race anywhere in the Constitution. I defy you to find it. Tell me where it is prior to the 15th Amendment. And when was the 15th Amendment adopted? It was adopted in the 20th century. Again, I want you to show me one reference to race in the Constitution. It doesn't refer to race.
Sarge.
It doesn't refer to race.
Okay, but what about the 14th Amendment, Sarge?
It doesn't refer to race.
Okay, but Sarge, but why is it? Okay, but why is it though, Sarge?
I again ask you my question. I ask you my question. I want you to find one reference to race anywhere in the Constitution prior to 1870 when the 15th Amendment guaranteeing the right to vote was adopted. Find me one reference to race.
Yes, Sarge, I will. Okay, such as Charleston, South Carolina, which was
in the Constitution.
Here on the auction block, we got an old ass bastard by the name of Shabaka.
That's not in the Constitution.
Okay, half his teeth are gone. Okay, and we got this nigga up here for sale for $50.
Here we go again.
So right in his mid-30s, up here on this auction block, for $150.
Okay. So what you can find then,
a 14-year-old girl, we want $2,500 for her is because she's considered a breeder, Sarge. Tell me that this did not happen, Sarge, and then I will tell you that you are pissing on my head and telling me it's rain. I can't hear you, Sarge.
Again. Okay.
Right.
Again.
Yes, Sarge.
Oh, God have mercy. Again, my simple question was, where in the Constitution is there a reference to race? There is none. That is the answer. Not until the 15th Amendment.
Sarge.
So here's what my response to what you just said was: the debates on the issues that undergird the amendment of necessity had to refer to race. Again, it does not refer to race. It refers to citizens.
Sarge. Now, Sarge. Sarge.
Again, the debate, the issue has to be recognized in order to establish a rationale for the amendment itself. But again, once it was written and ratified into the Constitution, it made no reference to race. It made a reference to what constituted a citizen of the United States. It established a process for due process. It forbade people who had taken action in insurrection or rebellion against the United States from holding offices under the authority of the United States. That's what it did. It didn't mention anything about race.
Okay, Sarge.
And don't blame me.
Okay, for the closing situation on this here, we thank everybody who called in. We thank everybody over the years, who have participated on our platform. We definitely appreciate Brother Jermaine, for bringing attention, to this travesty that's happened down there in New Orleans, Louisiana. And also, too, ladies and gentlemen, please follow the like page of Frontline Black News. Please follow the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. And then also, too, folks, feel free to inbox us and about any subjects that you would like for us to comment on. And that is my closing comment on June 7th, 2024 from Sin City, Nevada, otherwise known as Las Vegas.
Well, the closing thought is I think you need to review the history of the United States in its complete historical context, and the promise it offers is the reason why millions upon millions of people, unlike East Germany, unlike North Korea, unlike all these other countries where they have to fight to keep people inside the damn thing, here we got to try to keep people out because they understand the very promise of this country that you seem to be rejecting. And millions of them want in.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Sarge, is that the U.S. constitutional contradiction is full of contradictions and hypocrisy, Sarge.
Oh, gee, well, welcome to human nature. Well, welcome to human nature. I'd like you to find a country where that isn't true.
Sarge.
You won't.
Sarge, I'm cutting the ring off from you again, Sarge. What we're doing on this platform, Sarge, is bringing America face to face with its own hypocrisy. Just like how you all cut me off yesterday on Joe Gibson's show when nobody mentioned, okay, the great tactics of Haile Selassie when he kicked the shit out of Mussolini out of Ethiopia. Okay, y'all wanted to cape it on the D-Day invasion. You all did not comment on the sacrifices that was made by the Tuskegee Airmen. You also did not comment
they weren't involved in the D-Day invasion.
Who were brutalized, Sarge.
They weren't involved in the D-Day invasion.
Okay, Sarge.
They did not participate on D-Day.
There you go again. You're diverting, Sarge. I'm cutting the ring off from you again. And look at the case of Mr.
It was a day of commemoration for June 6, 1944.
Yeah, right. But I was talking about the whole concept of World War II, and then not to mention the underpaid labor that came from the Black Rosy Derivators. And I went over there, man, to a place called Richmond, California, where they had a lot of them up there in Vallejo. Okay, just like your comments, man, that you didn't mention about the massive explosion that killed so many Black GIs at Port Chicago.
Okay, see, again, okay, and let me tell you what else you didn't bring up. You didn't bring up the issue of the Einsatzgruppen on the Eastern Front. You didn't bring up the invasion of Salerno. You didn't bring up the Battle of San Pietro. You didn't bring up the issue of Monte Cassino. You didn't bring up the fight on Guadalcanal. You didn't talk about the Battle of Sable Island. You didn't talk about the combined bombing offensive. Hey, there was a lot of things you didn't talk about either. Hey, the issue was June 6, 1944.
Okay, but Sarge, I was talking about the Black GIs in World War II, regardless if they were in the Pacific or rather if they're in the European theater, who was segregated against. And then
I understand that. We were talking about June 6, 1944.
Okay, there you go again, Sarge, getting diversionary.
Because that was the day that was being commemorated.
And not to mention the fact, okay, hold on, Sarge, but getting back to England, Sarge, where England allowed Black soldiers to integrate, with white folks right there, and then one of the commanding generals over there had signed an executive order, making sure that Black soldiers couldn't go over there and
Democrat policies
with the British in their public houses, or commonly referred to as taverns, barns, and what have you. So
more Democrat policies.
Why don't you just
segregating the armed forces was instituted by Democrats after the Civil War. Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, Sarge. Okay.
Yes.
And then you talking about Woodrow Wilson, World War I, and look what happened to the Harlem Hell fighters.
Before World War I, he was president. He was president in 1912. He was president before World War I. Yes. He was first elected in 1912, I believe. World War I didn't even start until 1914, and the United States didn't get involved until April of 1917.
Okay, but Sarge. Okay, but the point is, what I'm making at is this, Sarge, is that the Black soldier, man, has participated in every major conflict and every war since the Revolutionary War in the United States, okay? But the fact of the matter is, man, he was always marginalized. He was always taken for granted. You see what I'm saying? And the sad part about it is, Sarge, is that white America does not want to come face to face with itself. They'll always come up with these diversionary tactics that you employ as opposed to discussing the real issue.
How is it diversionary? I think since we were talking about.
Okay, well, Sarge, get with us on the next episode, Sarge, and we will continue this debate, this conversation, this argument, however you want to call it, Sarge. We will continue it, and that is my closing comments coming to you.
Well, we can discuss all those issues on a day other than June 6th, because yesterday was to commemorate the people who participated in the invasion of Northwest Europe on June 6, 1944. And I hate to tell you, Tuskegee Airmen were not there for that one. They were in the Mediterranean Theater of Operations, not Northwest Europe.
Okay, but Sarge, but one key factor that you're forgetting is that Haile Selassie, had smashed Mussolini in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has not been conquered since.
And that was in 1936.
Okay. Sarge, going back to tradition is the first step forward. The concept of Sankofa. And that is my closing comment on that. And we thank Mr. Anderson for coming in. And please take us out, Brother Che. Okay, and please take it, and please, yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to play Malcolm X. You know, this here is for Sarge. This is dedicated to you, Sarge.
This afternoon, we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. But before we get into it, since this is the year of the ballot or the bullet, I would like to clarify some things.
All right, Shabaka's Bucket Expensive. Yes. Shabaka in the chain. And maybe like Taylor's wrong. Anytime I say that, on all platforms from Blacc. On Facebook and X.com. Use Club like separation.